I'm here with my friend Søren to talk about EpicFest 2026, another edition of this fantastic festival that I had the pleasure to attend last year. I was blown away by my experience, by the way. I had such a great time at this festival. I loved everything about it. But let's start this conversation from the standpoint of perhaps of somebody who's watching this video, who's never been there before, doesn't know what to expect. And I want to hear from you, the organizer, the booker. Uh, what is Epic Fest, if you could describe it to people that never been to one of your festival editions?
It's a big gathering of nerds. It's with a love of music and fantasy and role playing and Dungeons and Dragons and Lord of the Rings and that whole kind of environment. It started out like as a power metal. It still is a core power metal. That's what it's all about. A power metal festival to the core. But then we have adapted, sideshows and everything, all that goes with this kind of music. So we have the music, and then we have, a lot of stuff, role playing, Dungeons and Dragons, Nintendo gaming, Legend of Zelda, coming all together. A lot of cosplayers dressing out, so yeah, it's a big gathering for nerds.
Let me tell you this from my experience coming in, and maybe this will help folks that are thinking about attending. When I drove down to the venue, first of all, you get free parking across from the venue. There's tons of parking there, so that's a bonus, especially for those of us coming from North America who have to pay for parking everywhere we go. Getting free parking is it's a huge selling point, you know?
We do that the same in Copenhagen, I have to tell you.
Oh wow. Well, so that's the first thing that was great. Parking across the street, tons of parking. We got there early. The moment you look at the venue and you see the banners rolled out, it really has this medieval feeling to it. Like you guys had a tent that also gave a little bit of a medieval vibe to the way you walk in. But when I think of epicness and Epic Fest, and you need that because I was like, fuck, these guys get it. Like this is a vibe. It's just like it's not just about the music, it's about everything that goes on for those 2 days.
Mhm. Definitely. And I mean, the festival is located in an old Viking city called Roskilde, which is, with old buildings, and you got the whole atmosphere from the Viking age. We got the big cathedral, very Gothic. So it kind of makes sense to do this kind of festival in an environment like this one here. Um,
And the vibe was great. The people working there are great, super friendly. Everybody's super friendly. Not just the people working there, but the people attending the festival. I was blown away. I met people from all over the place. People from Indonesia came. I remember seeing people from Indonesia there, like Australia, Ireland, like it was people from all over the place came to this. Brazil. There was people from Brazil there. It was crazy to meet so many people from so many different places all coming together because they all have the same kind of love for power, epic metal, but also this fantasy world, this nerdy stuff. So it's really a perfect conglomerate of different things that we all are into.
yeah, that's right. I mean, actually, 65% of this year's ticket sale are actually going to foreigners. So that's pretty cool, I think. It has definitely reached some international potential within a very, few years. We started out back in 23, so this next year's editions is only like the fourth edition. And I mean, we could feel already from the first run that this had some potential to reach an international audience, and we kind of hoped it would, because I mean the power metal scene in Denmark is like zero,
I was
and
gonna say there's like every
yeah,
time I go there, every band that I discover from Denmark, they're the furthest away from power metal that you can find.
yeah, 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 that's right. And we had some great names like Iron Fire in the early 2000s, and we have some bands that kind of takes inspiration from the epic scene, I think. But like completely 100% power metal is pretty rare here in Denmark. So we kind of hoped that maybe some people from Sweden or Norway or Germany would show up to the first edition. But then we figured that okay, there's actually people coming from the UK and people coming from France, and even from Japan, they start to come pretty early. So that's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was blown away, dude. And to let people know, it's really easy to get to Roskilde. So don't get discouraged because it's not in Copenhagen. I know when I first found out about the festival through you, and we talked about going there last year, I was like, oh man, I was really hoping it was Copenhagen from a logistics standpoint. But the logistics to get to Roskilde is straightforward. You pretty much have two options. You can take public train, which is really easy too. A lot of people actually stay in Copenhagen and they just commute every day to the festival back and forth. Or you can just rent a car like I did and drive to Roskilde and experience a little bit more of the Danish countryside and experience a little bit more of Denmark. I don't think you can lose either way.
Exactly. I mean, it's a 20 minutes train drive from Copenhagen, and the trains are going 24/7. And the other thing is that what we figured is that there's so many people coming from abroad that the hotels in Roskilde are kind of, selling out pretty fast. So you need to be quite quick to actually. I mean, we have quite a lot of hotels in Roskilde, but they're selling quite fast. And what we figured is that, I mean, we need to get people to stay in Copenhagen because that's basically the only options there is, and people shouldn't be afraid of doing so because I mean it's super easy to go from Copenhagen to Roskilde, and there's a lot of stuff to explore in Copenhagen as well. It's yeah, it's a great capital, and so even though you stay in Copenhagen, it's pretty easy to get to EpicFest for sure.
I can attest to that. I was in Denmark twice last year, and and I got to tell you, one time, the first time I stayed in Roskilde for the festival, the second time now I went and stayed in Copenhagen. I did stay in Copenhagen for a few days the first time around as well, but there's tons of stuff to do. Roskilde is a beautiful city, small little town, super beautiful, has that rustic look to it, which goes really well with the festival. The hotel that we stayed was the same place as the bands were. That place was outstanding, like incredible. The views from the balcony was like breathtaking. So there's just so much to take in about this experience, these 2 days that you're there. I highly recommend people coming for maybe even the day before the festival, staying for a couple of days afterwards, because to make your trip worthwhile, you can really experience Denmark and Copenhagen and Roskilde and really get the most out of it. And maybe even check your schedule, see if there's some other shows the days before and the days after, and make it
Yeah.
like a week-long trip.
Yeah, we have tons of shows in Denmark. I mean, I mean, I could easily go for a metal show every day, basically. It's
I
crazy.
can attest to that. When I was there, like this last time I was there for 4 nights. I had a show every night. It was crazy. And some nights there was more than one. There was multiple shows happening. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you said this is going to be the fourth edition. You have a very strong lineup again.
We do.
One of the things that I really liked about the way you guys set up this festival, once again, for those that have never attended, is that you don't really have to miss bands. You can, if you're in the main venue, you can walk between the two stages and get to see all the bands playing in the main venue. You can also go to the smaller venue, which is just down the road. It's like 10-minute walk. And
Yeah.
the weather is normally nice around that time of the year. Much smaller, but different vibe. And I actually walked there to see Hulkov play at that venue, and I loved it. I I was blown
I
away,
don't
like just loved it because I'm a big fan of that band, and I probably will never see them outside of a setting like this.
know.
So I really like the way you guys set up the venues and set up the stages.
Yeah, we have like the main I mean it's a big conference center which we turn into some place called King Roa's Hall. That's what we call the area. So we got two stages out there. The main stage, the Realm of Might and Magic, it's called, and then King Roa's Hall, which is the second stage. So these two stages are not playing at the same time. But if you're gonna walk to the smaller venue, Gimle, call it the third stage. The third stage and the second stage will play, at the.
Simultaneously. Yeah.
But if you stay out there in the conference center, you will be able to watch all of it. So for the real nerds that actually goes to the small stage at Gimle, it's like a 5 minutes walk between those two places. So it's pretty easy to watch the bands, definitely. And yeah, we got a lot of great bars as well, so you can be well equipped before the shows.
I also like the fact that you guys have some seats, some tables, some wooden tables at the main stage. That way you can
That's
sit
important.
down, have a drink, and enjoy the music from not afar, because you're not far, you're within the venue, but at least you get to rest your legs a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate going to festivals where we're not able to sit, and to have a place where you can sit, have a beer, have a good time with your friends, and still watch some music. That's, I think, super important for the overall, experience of going to a party,
Mhm.
and because I think what we want to achieve with EpicFest is more like a total experience than actually just another concert, and that requires that you have some nice seating and some good beers and some good food as well. So that's total plan of the overall experience of EpicFest.
And the other thing, there's in and out privileges because if you're walking to the smaller venue, you're able to get back into that venue and back and forth and back and forth. So if people want to exit to go grab a pizza or something like that, they can totally do that. But there's plenty of food. I thought there was plenty of options food-wise at the main building.
Yeah, and we're all the time evolving, trying to expand and get some extra stuff. Now we tried something last year. We're gonna do a little bit differently this year. But still it's in the we want to hold it like in a traditional way. It's like it's raw, it's Vikingish, it needs to be like, I mean, the festival food needs to be some kind of Nordic to it. So it's definitely gonna be, some local stuff. It's very important for us to get some local stuff.
Yeah, and people should feel free to dress up and come in character. That was one thing that I saw a lot was elves. There was a
Yeah,
lot of elves walking around. There was a lot of people dressed in different characters from different things, like either be Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or Zelda. There was
yeah,
a lot of stuff. And one thing that I thought was really cool too is that I ran into a lot of people from bands that were either touring or they were not necessarily playing the festival, but they were in Denmark at that time nearby, and they decided to drop in. Like I was walking through the hallway and I see Siep from Ordenogen, and I'm like, dude, what are
yeah,
you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here?
yeah,
So it
yeah,
was
yeah.
that kind of vibe is really cool to see other bands that are not even performing, just kind of like coming to the festival and hanging out.
I can tell you we have had some great parties backstage within all the bands. It's yeah, because people are friends, the bands are friends, and when bands go to festival, they kind of know each other in different, from different environments and from other festivals, or maybe they've been touring together. And especially bands within the same kind of genre have been touring together for many years. So the old bands know each other, the newer bands know each other because they've been on the road together. So it's kind of like a big family. I can tell you the backstage area here is like a huge family gathering of elves and nerds and musicians, and we had, I think it was the second year we had Fellowship playing, the Fellowship from the UK and Twilight Force. They played on the same day, and they had just been touring in Japan together a little earlier that year. So they caught up and met, and there was a lot of good vibes, and it had a great party. And
Yeah, and you have a great facility also for those that are attending that are journalists that want to cover the festival, that want to do interviews, all of that stuff. I thought like you had great setups. There was a perfect space upstairs where you could talk to the bands, do your interviews, record your stuff. I did a ton of content while I was there, like a ton. Everybody was super accessible. Everybody was so much fun. Everybody enjoyed not only performing but being there. And I gotta tell you, once we got back to the hotel, every night we were going to bed really late because nobody wanted to go to sleep. Everybody's hanging out, having a few drinks. It's
yeah.
such a great atmosphere. This festival really puts everybody almost at ease, like you're at home with your friends. It removes all of those barriers that you normally get at just going to a show.
I think that's in general the thing with the style, within the power metal or the folk metal thing is that it's kind of gets people together. You know, it's like a huge, yeah, it's a huge gathering of just lovely people. It's music that gets you going. You know, it's chilling. It's a good move, you know, good vibes. You know, and it's also because I can also see that because of the people coming from all over the world, people are together in like one big, you know, family, singing together and partying together. Everyone knows basically all the songs. So yeah, it's like a one big family meeting
Yeah,
every year.
it indeed is a big family vibe, big family spirit. There's also merch for those attending. You can buy EpicFest merch. It's right as you get into the main venue. There's merch selling right there, but you guys also have band merch. The bands bring their own merch, and you guys also sell that. So if you want to pick up something from your favorite bands, they'll have it there. But definitely support the festival. Pick up. I have my wife has a hoodie, and I picked up a long sleeve. So
Perfect. Might be this one here.
yeah, I honestly I love my long sleeve. I love the logo on the back, and long sleeve t-shirts is not something I have a lot of. So I definitely picked up some merch when I was there, and I highly recommend everybody to pick up some merch and support the festival in any way you can. But let's talk about this year's lineup. I feel like there's a little bit of a Finnish invasion this year, at least as far as
Yeah,
headliners are concerned.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like a coincidence, I would say. We let's start from the top. We got Sonata Arctica playing 30 years anniversary show. That's a classic. You know, it's a great headliner. And then we have Interferum. You know, the core thing is power metal, but I think it's important to get some slightly different stuff as well. And Interferum kind of taps into the perfect, you know, the perfect scenario when combining power metal with the more extreme stuff. So I think that's important to showcase as well. So, and I mean, Sonata and Interferum have already, you know, always proven to be solid, fantastic acts. So it makes absolutely sense to have them as headliners. Then Roy Khan decided to go out and play again, and we could announce Roy as one of the first shows, first comeback shows as a solo artist. He's doing the Black Halo 20th anniversary show. So there's going to be a lot of cool Camelot stuff here. He's going to do like a special show at the festival with the Roskilde Cathedral Girls Choir, and
Wow.
yeah, so that's gonna be cool. They played
Talk
last
about
year.
talk about a unique experience. You're not
Mhm.
going to get that anywhere else.
That's right. It's very unique. It's you know, the big cathedral in Roskilde. They have like their own choirs. So they have a big girl choir and they got a big boys choir. Um, Last year, the girls' choir performed with Fabio Leone, did some cool Rhapsody stuff. And then this year, we're gonna close the festival, the final act on the main stage. It's gonna be Roy Khan with this choir here performing Black Halo. So that's definitely something we're proud of.
Wow,
Uh,
that's something super unique. But the rest of the lineup, you always manage to have a really killer lineup for every single day, and there's a little bit of everything for everybody. And I found that last year, and I'm finding by the lineup you guys announced already, because you already announced the break of the days and who's playing. You always balance out the lineups really well for both days, so that there's a sense that there's not one day that's better than the other day. The 2 days are equal to one another.
yeah, it's gonna be tough being a power metal fan. There's a lot of running and there's yeah, I mean there's a lot of shows going on. So yeah, I mean, it's basically I've always wanted to experience like a festival with music with core music that I love, you know, and it's what it is. It's basically just music and bands that me and Lauge, who's the other promoter, love, and that's what it's all about. And if we like the music, we hope that the audience will like it as well. So so this is what we always have dreamed about, you know, going to a festival like this. So that's what we trying to do.
So going into this fourth edition, when you look at your ticket sales, Have the ticket sales been better this year, for example, than last year?
It's kind of like the same. It's been sold out the last 3 years, so we're definitely expecting a fourth sold out in advance. So yeah, it's going fantastic, and we just released the single day tickets. There's only a few single day tickets, but the 2 day tickets are going really fast at the moment. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a sold out, I'm sure.
I'll put in the description of the video the 2 day pass and the single tickets as well, so people can pick those up. Uh, do you see you mentioned that the audience coming from abroad a lot higher than what you would expect. Do you see that trend continue?
Yeah, for sure. It's and it goes fast. You know, we have people from, yes, as you said, coming from all over the world basically. Australia, America, Canada. There's a lot of Argentina, Brazil, and it seems like people are buying the tickets way in advance, which is obviously good for us as organizers because I mean you can't do this without the people. So it's definitely important, and we can see on the numbers that actually people from abroad are buying tickets faster than the Danes. And well, somehow it makes sense because people need to plan, you know, the trip. But I think it's good and it's very healthy. Not just for our festivals, but for other festivals that are working with audience coming from abroad. That people are buying tickets early because simply because it makes it so much easier for us as organizers to actually achieve and make the best festival possible because we know that people will show up.
Will be there, yeah, the people will be there. When you look at the festival, I think sometimes people look at growing a festival by adding more days or adding more stages. I think one of the key aspects of this festival that really appealed to me is that home feel where it really feels like a family environment. You know what I mean? More so than one of these big festivals that's 4 or 5 days, but it doesn't have that human touch to it, or it loses that human touch. Is that something that you guys consider to like, we need to keep always this kind of vibe? This is important for us, and more so than growing and selling more tickets.
I mean, it's like there's two sides of the sword, I would say, to say, and it's one thing is that we want to keep this intimate vibe uh, naturally because the Congress Center has some limits capacity. Um, so that's one thing. We like the size that the festival is in right now, but at the same time, in order for us to present some bigger acts in the future, we need to somehow not involve into a huge major 50,000 cap festival because that's not going to happen. But we still need to look into numbers, and we need to see how can we push even more the festival to maybe add a little bit, to make it a little bit bigger. This year is the same size as last year, and it's probably going to be the same the next couple of years as well. But we always have to look into how can we involve the festival, how can we add some more, side shows, how can we, you know, maybe get some more interesting stuff going on besides the acts as well. Um, but it's important for us to keep going. We're definitely not getting smaller, but we need to maybe push it a little bit more. Also because bands are getting more and more expensive to book, so it's it's a crazy circle actually because you need to stay in touch with the whole music industry as a total when you're doing a festival like this.
Wow,
Yeah, that's something.
you're right. I didn't consider all of those, but there's a lot of different moving pieces that go into play. Because obviously you also have the restraints that come with the venue. And obviously I think you want to stay in Roskilde. I don't think you want to move somewhere else.
It's our Laugen, it's our like childhood country, and we're love making this kind of festival in Roskilde. There's so many different options and things you can do. I mean, we had this big concert in the Roskilde Cathedral last year, So there's tons of different ways to activate the whole city, and that's another aspect about Roskilde. They really want to be a part of it.
Yeah, you guys are helping tremendously as far as tourism is concerned, promoting the city and bringing people from abroad. And like you said, when you show your numbers, considering how many people are coming from outside of Denmark, I think that's tremendous. What you guys are doing is really good for the local metal scene, but also from a tourist standpoint. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job, and I had such a great time there. It's such a great atmosphere. I cannot recommend it enough for people to go and travel and be a part of it. It's just like I said, bring your costumes, be ready. Like it's a lot of fun. And one thing I forgot, you guys also have some of the bands doing some autograph sessions.
Yeah, we had it last year, and we have had that all the years. I'm still looking into what we can do this year, but there's definitely going to be a signings session. That's a very important aspect of the festival, definitely.
Yeah, and people really love those. Everybody brings in their vinyls and their stories to tell the band. Everybody really enjoys those. I think that's like giving the fans a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, I mean, people brought their plastic swords for Fabio Leone to sign, and it's just good fun.
Yeah, it's fun to see the fun in people's faces. And the venues, by the way, the sound is phenomenal. So for those concerned with that aspect, it doesn't matter which venue you go to, the sound in all of them was really good. I really like the acoustics, and the main stage looks so fucking epic.
There's a that was a big one. It's definitely the biggest one I have worked with for sure. We built some huge mountains props that
Yeah,
look.
yeah, it looked amazing.
Yeah, and I mean they will be back this year as well, and it kind of fits to the whole epic environment. I mean, in general, we try because it's like a boring congress center with white walls and everything. We try to convert the whole place into like a Disneyland environment with a lot of fire and shields and banners on the walls, and trying to make as much fantasy out of it as possible.
Here in North America, in Toronto, I've never been before, but they have a thing called medieval times dinner and tournaments. So you get to go and have dinner. You eat with your hands, like back in the medieval
Yeah,
times, and you see the jousting on the horses and the sword. It kind of reminded me of that. Like it has that when you walk in, you feel like you guys decorate the space like if you were at a medieval, like LARPing weekend, if you will.
that's right. They have the same in London. I've been to like a place where we eat and being a part of a medieval thing in London as well. And yeah, it's all about us watching a lot of playing a lot of role playing, seeing Lord of the Rings. You get this. I mean, if you're gonna do a fantasy show and you're gonna do a fantasy festival, it needs to be fantasy. So it's we need to have all the epic atmosphere that we're trying to create. And we have a great atmosphere team that is working very, very hard these days, thinking about different things to do and, 3D printing and sewing and, making cool stuff, a lot of painting. We have a lot of projects going on to be revealed when it starts out.
Yeah, I mentioned before on the description of the video, I'm gonna have the links for the tickets, but I'm also gonna put the running order, the lineups that you have for both days, so everybody can see who's playing at the festival, who's there outside of Roy Khan and Seferim and Sonata Arctica. There's Angus McSix is going to be playing. There's so many cool bands. Seven Spires, I believe they're also on the
Seven,
bill.
yes, Seven Spires are playing, and one of the bands that I really, really love is back on stage again. Is that we got Fairyland? That's a very, very for the nerds. Fairyland is like one of the big, big hot shots. I would say. I'm really looking forward to that band. They haven't played live in 16 years, so that's gonna be cool.
You got
And then,
Mercenary as well, right?
sorry,
Mercenary is playing?
and Mercenary. Yes, they're playing the Hours That Remains 20 years anniversary.
Wow,
Uh,
that's cool.
And then we got a very, very special act as well, Hagane from Japan. Love Bites.
Hmm.
The ladies playing. Hagane is it's kind of like the same thing with all females playing fast power metal. also from Japan. So that's pretty cool. That's the first European show they're gonna do. So yeah, and Darkmoor from Spain are playing the first Scandinavia show, playing together for many years. Um, Masterplan, they haven't played in Denmark for 20 years or something like that. So I mean, we're trying to get, dive into the whole genre and to see, okay, where can we pick up some bands that will, open some eyes from a lot of people, and also, new fans from the genre maybe doesn't know who Fairyland or Darkmoor is, so they can also get some new fans. It's very important.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
last year, the three bands that stayed with me in terms of their performances was Hulkhoff at Gimli. I thought that performance was just phenomenal, and Nanowar of Steel was incredible. I mean, the place was packed. Like you couldn't get one more person in there. It was like
No.
the venue was just breaking at the seams. And what a performance by Nanowar of Steel. My favorite ever from them. And then Windrose was
Yeah.
incredible.
That was I mean, Windrose is kind of like that band that we got at the perfect spot. They're on the rise as a headliner. Definitely within this genre here, they're a headliner. That afterwards they played the first headliner European tour. So they're kind of like the new headlining act, and we were really proud of having them last year, and it really turned out cool. It was the most packed show, I would say, on the main stage
It,
last
it,
year.
it was it was in the main stage. I think they packed that main stage more than any other band that you had on that day. But there's also other great performers. Majestica last year was amazing. Like I said, the sound, Yotun was amazing. The sound is really good at both venues. So I feel like whoever goes there to see the shows really gets the best of those bands in that sort of environment. And it's a great environment to be in. Great place to visit. Great festival. Epic Fest 2026, guys. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. There's plenty of reasons to come to Denmark this year.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of smiles and a lot of happiness, and I think, not to talk political stuff, but I think you need that these days, I would say.
We need to escape reality. And
You
what
need to
better thing
escape.
to do than go to Epic Fest to escape reality?
Yeah, definitely. You need to come to Denmark to explore how the day how I mean, we're gonna take good care of you for sure.
Oh yeah. You know what? From that perspective, my experience from the time I arrived at the airport to the time I left, even the people at the airport were super nice. Everybody was super kind, super friendly. One of the guys at security asked me where we were from. I said we're from Canada, and he's like, "Oh, Justin Bieber." And I was like, "All right, I guess it's Justin Bieber. I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse." So Justin Bieber, I'll take that. If you're into football, and I mean soccer for North Americans, but football for Europeans, I did a stadium tour of FC Copenhagen. Highly
Yeah.
recommend doing stuff like that. Really, just go for the festival, but experience all that Denmark has to offer.
I couldn't agree more. It's yeah, it's yeah, it's all about exploring, and that's also what I love when going abroad myself, is to go to a festival, stay there, listening to some music, and afterwards take a nice, trip exploring the area. It's cool.
Yeah, it's great. I think everybody's going to have a great time. Soren, thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you and to
Yeah,
talk to you. And I hope this festival continues to be successful. I have no doubts about it. You guys do a phenomenal job. The only
thank you.
thing that I'm sad is that I'm not going to get to see you at Inferno this year.
That's right. It's 1 week before, so that's gonna be it's gonna be tough. But
Yeah.
I mean, you could stay a week longer.
I originally I was thinking of going to Inferno, flying to Portugal, staying with my mom, and then going to Denmark for Epic Fest. The problem is our good friend Thorsten booked the Wacken Metal Battle for the week after. So that would mean that I would pretty much have to take the whole month of April as vacation to go
Yeah.
from like country to country and do a European tour. So he really screwed up my plans.
Yeah, well, you can't do everything. That's how it is. You must be back in 2 years.
No, no,
27.
That is 100% for sure. In 2027, we're gonna be back, but this year I'll see you at Vakken.
Definitely, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll see you at Denmark at any other point in time. I seem to really like that place. I come there now often.
Iceland, Denmark, and Germany. That's where you have to
Yeah, it's the trifecta for me. Like in Norway, I seem to be
be.
between Norway, Iceland, Denmark, and Germany. Those four places.
It's not even a triangle, but the holy fourth part, I would say
It's
it's
a square. It's a square. We make it a square.
square, the whole square.
The holy square of metal. So I love it. I love it. Once again, thank you very much for your time. I'll have the video up in the next couple of days, and I'll have all the links in the description so people can really pick up the tickets. There's not many left, so hurry up, pick it
Yeah,
up. And if you guys have any questions, those watching the video, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section. If I don't know the answer, I'll get the answer from Søren and I'll reply and I'll let everybody know what's going on. Once again, man, thank you very much for your time.
thank you so much.